Hello, viewers. Welcome to Unacademy. Let's crack management exams English. In today's session, we'll be looking at Introduction to Data Interpretation, Introduction to DI or Data Interpretation. Before going, before getting started with the topic, let me very quickly introduce myself. I am Arjun R. Prasad, an engineer with 12 plus years of teaching experience, having trained more than 6,000 CAT aspirants in the fields of quantitative aptitude, data interpretation, data sufficiency, and logical reasoning, as well as I have helped them to crack the personal interviews. I've trained more than 4,000 students to crack the campus recruitment exams. That's it. Let us get started with the topic. We need to understand the difference between data, information, knowledge, and wisdom. Because this was a question that was asked at a personal interview. What is the difference between data, information, knowledge, and wisdom? See, some people who are mostly from computer science background may be able to give a difference between data and information. They may just say that process data is information, but not necessarily. It's not appropriate. If we go by, let us take certain examples and understand data, information, knowledge, and wisdom. Suppose there is a statement which says there are 20 lakh people infected with COVID-19 in the USA. Suppose there's a statement which says there are 20 lakh people infected with COVID-19 in the USA. It is data, it is a factual information, it is a raw fact, right? It is just data. Look at another statement which says there is a COVID-19 infected person 200 meters away from you. Of course, that is data, but that is information to you. The first one is just data, the second is information. Why? Because the second statement that I have made is more relevant. Therefore, relevant data is information. Therefore, relevant data is information. Is that clear? So, data is just fact. If it is relevant to you, it is information. Okay, we have the information. But if I don't know how to use the information, then it is waste. I need to know how to use the information. Knowing how to use the information is knowledge. Knowing how to use the information is nothing but knowledge. That is basically precautions to be taken to avoid being infected by COVID-19. If you know this, if you know the precautions, then it means that you know how to use that information. Is that clear? Knowing how to use the information is knowledge. If you use the information, if you know how to use and you use that information in a subconscious state of mind rather than being aware or conscious of it while using it, then you have attained a state of wisdom. That is, washing hands, all these things, if they are embedded in your mind, then yes, you automatically are taking the precautions in a subconscious state of mind rather than doing it consciously. That means you have attained wisdom. Is that clear? You can take n number of examples. Suppose I say that there is a pothole on the road between some place, let us say between Baswangudi and Malleshwaram. If I just say this, then it will be data. If you have nothing to do with that part of the town, it's only data. But if you are traveling on that road, that data becomes information to you. Yes, there is a pothole, you are informed of it, and that is relevant to you, and that's an information. But if you don't know how to use it, you will go and fall. So if we know how to use that information, that means we have the knowledge. 10 times you travel on the road, you will be consciously avoiding the pothole. The 11th time when you travel, you will, in a subconscious state of mind, you would avoid the pothole. After traveling a certain distance, you may check back. You may just think for a second, oh, there was a pothole. I did not even realize that. Right? So that means you have attained wisdom. Understood? So always reason things, guys. Data, information, knowledge, and wisdom. Is that clear? Okay. And very often we say that in CAT exam, or for that matter any competitive exam, because it's been used very often, we say DI, data interpretation. But truly speaking, all we are doing is only data reading and not data interpretation. I will give you the example of what it means to be doing data interpretation. Now let us look at this one. This is nothing but data reading example. Suppose I give you this chart, which gives the average score out of 1200 marks against the month of birth for batch 2011 12th students in the entire state of Tamil Nadu, where the survey was done using the data from 20 lakh students who appeared for 2011 12th standard examination. So if you look at it, if I just ask people born in which month have scored the average score, basically people born in which month the average score is the highest, you will automatically, just by looking at this graph, we can say yes, September is the highest. Which is the least? Then we can say, okay, yeah, June is the least. Is that clear? June is the least, September is the highest. Yeah, all we are doing over here is nothing but data reading. All we are doing is data reading. Where is it highest? Where is it least? What is the growth? All these things, if we calculate, it is only data reading. Then what is data interpretation? Look at this. The same data, courtesy is Art of Data Visualization by a company called Gramina. I have taken the cue from there. Now, if you look at this, you will see that when you look at this entire graph, March, April, May, so on and so forth, June bonds are the ones who score the lowest, and September bonds are the ones who score the highest. And between June and August, the average score shoots up by around 120 marks. By around 120 marks, it almost shoots up. 120 marks, isn't it? The difference, sorry, between June and September, it is 120 marks is the difference. Now, what has this got to do? How do we read this data? How do we interpret? Reading is fine. How do we interpret this data? If you understand, the same similar graph structure occurs, identical pattern exists for 2009, 2010, and even after 2011. If you consider 12, 13, 14, year over year, the same or similar pattern of the graph we get, right? What does this mean? Does it mean that June bonds are really dumbheaded and September bonds are really brilliant? No, no. If we start thinking that way, then it shows our narrow-mindedness. No. This speaks a lot about the culture of the country itself, at least one small part of it. Now you might be thinking, how on earth will 12th standard marks and culture of a country, how on earth can I connect these two? Right? Even to this day, what happens is, see, schools set a particular age as an entry point. If you want to admit a kid to first grade, then the kid should have attained a certain age. But what do parents do usually if it is just one day later than the cutoff date? They'll say, 1 day late, please do something, and they'll push the kid. 2 days, yes, you can do it. 5 days, 10 days, 1 month. 1 month, it may be a little bit difficult, but if you have influence, you may be able to. 1.5 months, influence with little bit of financial or money power, you will be able to. 2 months, yes. But you cannot go and tell that my kid is 3 months beyond the given set deadline, but do something and admit. They'll say no. Which clearly states that the ones who are June bonds are by and large the youngest among the crowd. And the September bonds are the oldest among the crowd. And the age has something to do with the mental maturity as well. And that shows up over here. A gap of 120 marks out of 1200. It means a gap of almost 10%. 10% of the total marks is the gap. Right? So that is called as data interpretation. Doing a study of this nature is called as data interpretation. Doing a study of this nature is only called as data reading. Is that clear? And in fact, it has been stated over here. It's simply Malcolm Gladwell in Outliers. He has stated the same thing. It's simply that in Canada, the eligibility cutoff for age class hockey is January 1st. A boy who turns 10 on January 2nd then could be playing alongside someone who doesn't turn 10 until end of the year, and at that age in pre-adolescence, a 12-month gap in age represents an enormous difference in physical maturity. Here we are seeing the similar thing in terms of mental maturity. Is that clear? So this you may think is a lot of gyan, but please understand what we do as far as competitive exams are concerned is only data reading and not data interpretation, friends. Okay. However, because of usage over a period of time, we have been using the term DI, 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 DI. Yes, we continue to use DI. Is that clear? Aware of this difference? Now, if we are sure of this, now let's move on to the topic. Simple questions. Let us look at some simple questions. The following table gives the marks scored by three friends in QA, DI, and LR sections in a competitive exam. It is known that in each section the maximum marks is 100. That is, the way we look at it and we read it is Amar, Bhuvan, and Chandra are three people. Amar scored 65 marks in QA, 85 marks in DI, and 50 in LR. Bhuvan scored 95 in QA, 75 in DI, and 60 in LR. Chandra scored 75 in QA, 65 in DI, and 55 in LR. Now the question comes, who scored the highest? Who scored the highest in all the three sections together? Who scored the highest in all the three sections? See, one way of solving it is to add all the rows. 65 plus 50, 85 plus 50, which is 50, 130, 140, which is 200. 95 plus 75 plus 60, which is nothing but 140, 230. 75 plus 65 plus 55, which is nothing but 195. Therefore, Bhuvan scored the highest. That is one way of solving it. And this is something that high school kids do. But if we have grown up, if we have passed that age, what more better can I do? I can just look at the variance. It's like 95 is what? 30 more than 65. 75 is just 10 less. So still, till now, Bhuvan holds. And 60 is 10 more. So this DI and LR get compensated. The gap of 30 marks still exists for Bhuvan, who has got more as compared to Amar. Therefore, Bhuvan has scored the highest. Similarly, Bhuvan with Chandra also, you can do it. So it is like, every section he has scored the highest. Therefore, more than Chandra. Therefore, the highest is by Bhuvan. Without doing any calculation, any much of calculation, we can say. So, who scored the highest? Bhuvan scored the highest. Is that clear? Next, marks scored by Bhuvan in DI is what percentage of the marks scored by him in LR. Marks scored by Bhuvan in DI, which is 75, is what percentage of the marks scored by him in LR, which is 60. Now, if I simplify this, what do I get? Go ahead directly with 15. 15 5 times, 75, 15 4 times, 64, 25 times is 100, 25 5 times is 125. So therefore it is 125%. So marks scored by Bhuvan in DI is 125% of the marks scored by him in LR. So the marks scored by Bhuvan in DI is 125% of the marks scored by him in LR. In other words, it means that if he scored 100 marks in LR, then he scored 125 marks in. For every 100 marks that he scored in LR, he scored 125 marks in DI. That's what it means. Is that clear? Next, just that we get acquainted. So this is another way of representing the data. Marks secured in three sections: QA, DI, and LR by three friends. Here we are using column charts or bar charts. Is that clear? We are using column or bar charts. Each section is for 100 marks. Okay. Now the questions come. Question over here is, total marks scored by Amar is what percentage more or less than that scored by Chandra? So total marks scored by Amar, this is what, 65, 65 plus 85, 65 plus 85. So it is like 60 plus 80, 150, 150 plus 50, which is 200. Score of Amar is 200 marks. Score of Amar is 200 marks. What about Chandra? Score of Chandra is how much? Chandra, it is like 75, 65, 55. Because it's an arithmetic progression, we can directly say 65 times 3, which is 195. Therefore, Chandra scored 195 marks. Now the question asked, Amar's score is what percentage more or less than that by Chandra? Definitely it is more. How much more? 5 marks more. Out of what? Out of Chandra's score than Chandra. So Chandra's score becomes the denominator. 5 out of 195 into 100. Whatever we get, that must be the answer. 5 by 195 into 100%. Is that clear? Understood that? Next, he says, if you want, we can calculate that as well. You can simplify 5 one time, 5 39 times. So 100 divided by 39, 100 divided by 39 will be 2 point something, and then you can calculate that. Or you can just leave it, because I'm not much concerned with respect to the calculations at this point of time. The next question is, marks scored by Chandra in LR is what percentage less than that scored by him in QA? In LR, Chandra scored how much? Chandra scored 55. In QA, how much did Chandra score? Chandra scored 75. 55 is how much less than 75? It is 20 less than. 20 less than how much? 20 less than 75. Right? Multiply it by 100. What do you get? 25 3 times, 25 4 times. 80 by 3, 80 by 3. So it will be 26.66%. Is that clear? Understood? Next. This is another way of representing similar data, which is marks scored in three sections: QA, DI, and LR by three friends. See, I'm going by different ways of representation so that we get acquainted with at least the different ways. First, we saw a tabular format. Then we saw a bar graph with a column wise bar graph or vertical bars. Now we are seeing line graph. Okay. With respect to line graph, marks scored in three sections: QA, DI, and LR by three friends: Amar, Bhuvan, and Chandra. Okay. This is what is the data that's given to us. Each section is for 100 marks. Yes. Total marks scored by Bhuvan is what percentage more than that scored by Chandra? Total marks scored by Bhuvan is what percentage more than that scored by Chandra? Now let us look at Bhuvan's score. Bhuvan's score is how much? 95 plus 75, 95 plus 75. 9 plus 7, 16, 170, 170 plus 60, 170 plus 60. What is 170 plus 60? 230. So therefore, score of Bhuvan is 230 marks. Total score of Bhuvan is 230 marks. What is the total score of Chandra? Total score of Chandra, you have 75, you have 65, you have 55. That means 195. Therefore, the total score of Chandra is 195. Is that clear? Total marks scored by Bhuvan is what percentage more than that scored by Chandra? 230 is how much more than 195? It is nothing but 35. More than 195. More than 195 into 100. So we just have to simplify this and we'll get our answer. We just have to simplify this part and we'll get our answer. Is that clear? Understood? Next, in QA, marks scored by Amar and Chandra together. In QA, marks scored by Amar and Chandra together is how much more than that scored by Bhuvan? Look at QA. QA is nothing but this line. QA is nothing but this line. This one. This line is QA. Amar and Chandra together. Amar scored 65 and Chandra scored 75. That is nothing but 140. Together 140 is how much more than? How much more than that scored by Bhuvan? Bhuvan scored 95. Just because in all the previous questions, just look at these questions. We have all calculated percentage, again percentage. So there is a high chance that most of the people calculate this as 45 divided by 95 into 100. 45 divided by 95 into 100. But please, and that will be one of your answer options. It's a very simple question, but that will be one of. Now what happens if you calculate it that way? You get a wrong answer for the asked question, because nowhere in this question has he used the word percentage. He has only asked, in QA, marks scored by Amar and Chandra together is how much more than that scored by Bhuvan? It is nothing but 45. That's all. That's all. That's it. And that's all is my answer. So my answer would only be 45 marks and nothing else, nothing more than that. Is that clear? Able to understand that? Okay. Next, let us move on to some set-based questions. Let us look at this. Here he says, the following table gives sales of different cement companies in India. The following table gives sales of different cement companies in India from 2000-2001 through 2005-2006, and all the data is in crores. Ultrasem, Ambikasem, Saraswati Sem, RK Sem, Hindustan Sem. 2000-2001, 6746, 6746 crores. In 2001-2002, 7813 crores. In 2002-2003, 8761 crores. In 2003-2004, 8093 crores. 9,257 crores, 9,809 crores. In the same way, 4,072 crores, 4,239, 6,577, 7,081, so on and so forth. That's the way we read the data. Yeah. Okay. So we have the data with us. This slide I have kept it vacant for calculations in case we need any. Let us look at the questions. The first question is what? Which company recorded maximum increase in sales? Which company recorded maximum increase in sales between any two consecutive years? Between any two consecutive years, which company recorded maximum increase in sales? Now, see, if the same question is asked to probably a 4th or 5th grade kid, even that kid will be able to solve. But the method that the kid uses would be different. What will the kid do? First, it will calculate 7813 minus 6746, it will get an answer. Then 8761 minus 7813, get an answer. 8093 minus 8761, you don't have to calculate. 9257 minus 8093, you'll get an answer. 9809 minus 9257, you'll get an answer. And out of those 5 numbers, wherever it is the highest, that highest number, it will write it over here. That highest number, it will write it for Ultrasem. Similarly, for Ambika Sem, Saraswati Sem, RK Sem, and Hindustan Sem. And whichever value is the highest among these five, that value it will take, it will see which company it is, and then give the answer as that company. That's what a kid does. You come to a high school, they will, those kids will probably not calculate that much. They will just observe, okay, 6,000, 7,800, 8,700, 8,000, 8,000, 9,000, 9,000. Let me just calculate where is the highest difference. Rather than calculating all the five, let me calculate where is the highest difference. 67 to 78 is like 11. 78 to 87 is like 9. Okay. Then 80 to 92 is like 12. Okay. And 92 to 98 is like 6. So therefore something around 1200 will be there. That's or 1100ish or 1200, close to. So that's what a high school kid would do. But we have passed that age as well without writing anything. Please say I have not written anything. Without writing anything, can we get the answer for the question, which company recorded maximum increase in sales between any two consecutive years? See, if you start observing the data, for Ultratech, it is like probably 1200. That is the difference, order of 1200. You come to Ambika, you will see 42 to 65, which is nothing but 2300 is the difference, order of 2300 ish. Then come to Saraswati Sem, you have a difference anywhere beyond 2300. Do I have? No, I don't have it. Come to RKSM. RKSM, you have 62 to 90 is like 2800 ish. Okay, so RKSM till this point of time, it is RKSM which is winning because 2800. In Hindustan Sem, anywhere do I have a difference of 28 with the first two digits, 38, 56? No. 56, 58, no. 58, 61, no. 61, 72, no. 72, 76, no. Definitely it is RKSM, and the maximum increase is from 6273 to 9036. From 6273 to 9036, which is like 2700-ish, 2700 odd, whatever. That is the difference. So which is the company which recorded the maximum increase? The company which recorded the maximum increase is RKSM. See, I have not written anything, I have not calculated anything. If all the calculations are in mind, not on paper. Therefore, the answer for this, as we know, is RKSM. Next, which company recorded maximum percentage increase in sales between any two consecutive years? Now you may be thinking, maximum increase RKSM, maximum percentage increase RKSM only. But we will be wrong over there. We need to understand the difference between absolute and relative. Okay, maximum percentage increase means with always the increase with respect to 100. Maximum increase is just the absolute increase. There is no reference point per se over there. Is that clear? To make it even more clearer, we can also take certain examples. Let us say you have 1 rupee, it became 2 rupees. What is the absolute increase? 1 rupee. What is the percentage increase from 1 to 2? 100%. Let us say you have 2 rupees and it became 3 rupees. What is the absolute increase? Still 1 rupee. What is the percentage increase? 1 out of 2, which is nothing but 50% increase. So even though the absolute increase is the same, the percentage increase has decreased. Why? Because the denominator has increased. Therefore, because when we calculate the percentage, denominator has a huge amount of significance, the answer may not be the same. Therefore, we will have to go to the table, check the data, and then come back and see which company has recorded the maximum percentage increase. Now you may state, on in the competitive exam we have on-screen calculator. Sir, I will start using the on-screen calculator. No, rely on your brain. That is much more faster and efficient than relying on the calculator. How do we then calculate it quickly? Look at this point. See, calculating a percentage increase every instance of consecutive 2 years will be very difficult. Whereas, if I say whether a value is more than 50% of the initial value or not, it will be easy. Whether the value is more than 10% of the initial value or not, it is easy. To say whether it is more than 25% or more than 10% or more than 20% is easy. To calculate the exact percentage increase is time consuming, right? Now, if I look at the data, so it's like if you see, you have something like 4,000 and 6,000. It's like 4,000 to 6,000 is like 50%, right? So just take a ballpark value of 50% and see, is there any place where the consecutive values along the row, where the increase is more than 50%? Is there any instance where the increase is more than 50%? Let us look at it. See, I have 4,239. I have 4,239 and I have 6,577. If I want 50% increase, it's like 4,200, 5,200, 6,200, 6,300, 6,330, 6,345, 6,345, 6,354, 6,358.5. So if it is 50% increase, just 50% increase, 6,358.5. But I have 6,577, which is more than 6,358. That means here the percentage increase over here is more than percentage increases more than 50%. More than 50%. Okay. Is there anywhere else do we find a percentage increase of 50%, more than 50%? The closest after that probably will be RKSM, which is like 6,200, 9,036. 6,200, if you increase it by 50%, you will get it as what, 7, 8, 9,300 odd, 9,300 something. 9,300 something you will get it, but we have only 9,036. Therefore, the percentage increase is less than 50%. Percentage increase. The increase is less than 50%. The increase is less than 50%. Here, the increase is more than 50%. And nowhere else apart from this instance, from 4,239 to 6,577, nowhere else in the table do we ever get an increase of more than 50%. Therefore, what is my answer? My answer would be Ambika SEM. So, my answer, which company recorded the maximum percentage increase? Which company has recorded the maximum percentage increase in sales between any two consecutive years? It is nothing but Ambika SEM. Is that clear, friends? Next, let us look at the next question, which says, in the year 2001-2002, what is the share of Saraswati SEM out of the total sales of all the given companies? 2001-2002, share of Saraswati SEM out of all the companies. Okay. See, 2001-2002. Let me look at this particular column now. Let me look at this particular column. I need the total of this entire column. Please do not start adding with 3 plus 9 and all. Directly do always start with the MST. It will be much faster. 7,000 plus 4,000. 11,000. 11,000 plus 6,000 is 17,000. 17 plus 3 is 20. 20 plus 5 is 25. 25,800. 25,800 plus 220. 6,000, 26,700, 26,700, 26,740, 26,800, 26,850, 26,862, 26,862, 20,862, 1,862, 866, 866, 871, 879. So it is like 25,879. 879 is fine. 17, 20, 25,000, 26,000, 26,700, 26,800, 26,850, 879, 26,879. Therefore, out of 26,879, I have 26,879, which is the total. What is Saraswati Sem's share? Saraswati Sem is 6164. Saraswati Sem is 6164. So all he is asking is 6164 out of 26,879 into 100. This is what we are supposed to calculate. This is how much is what we are supposed to calculate. If you look at the answer options are lying hovering between 21 and 23 or whatever, right? So calculating this is time consuming. Instead, let us learn another way of calculating. What is 10% of 26,879? 2687.9. So what will 20% be plus 2687.9? This is my 20%. Okay. What is 1% going to be? 1% is nothing but 268.79. What will 2% be? 2% will be 537.58. Just understand that this is nothing but 22%. This is 22%. What about 23%? Then you just have to add another 268.79. Six one eight 2.17 is 23%. What I need is only 6164. Is 6164 closer to 5913 or is it closer to 6182? Definitely it is closer to 6182, but less than that. That means my answer has to be more than 22.5 and less than 23, which clearly means my answer would be 22.9%. Therefore, the correct answer is 22.9%, which is answer option C. Therefore, the correct answer is 22.9%, which is answer option C. Is that clear? Is everyone able to understand that? Okay. Questions follow. The next one. What is the approximate average annual growth rate of Hindustan SEM from 2000, 2001 to 2005, 2006? What is the approximate average annual growth rate of Hindustan SEM from 2000, 2001 to 2005, 2006? First, we need to understand what is supposed to be calculated, right? Here, he is telling very clearly, he states Hindustan SEM average annual growth rate from 2000, 2001 to 2005, 2006. Some of you may be thinking, okay, I will calculate the percentage growth from 3819 to 5648, 5648 to 5841, 5841 to 6179, 6179 to 7214, 7214 to 7645. Calculate the percentage increase. Take the total of all those percentages divided by 5 and you will get your answer. No, you are utterly mistaken. Let me, to make my matter simple, let me give you an illustration or an example. Let us say I give you a statement. I went to a casino with my friend. I asked my friend to stand at the door. I told him, and I'm getting inside with 10,000 rupees in my pocket. And after a while, after playing, I come back, I come out, and I tell him, say I played 10 games. I had gone in with 10,000 rupees. Now I have come out with 20,000 rupees. What is the average gain per game? See, understand carefully. I went in with 10,000 rupees. I have come out with 20,000 rupees in my pocket. And I give him the information that I played 10 games. What is my average gain per game? What do we do? What is the total gain? 10,000. Divided by how many games played? 10 games. 10,000 by 10,000. Therefore, what is the average gain per game? 1,000 rupees is the average gain per game. Should I have to tell him the entire story of what happened in between? First game I won 1 crore. Second game I lost 90 lakhs. Third game I won 20 lakhs. Fourth game I lost 25 lakhs. Should I tell all these things? Not necessary. What is more important is only the start and the end point. Is that clear? Understood? So when he says average annual growth rate of Hindustan SEM, average annual growth rate of Hindustan SEM from 2000, 2001 to 2005, 2006. First, calculate what is the growth rate. Then we'll come to average annual growth rate. First, the growth rate. What do I mean by growth rate from of Hindustan SEM? That means it is from 3819 to 7645. 3819 to 7645. We have to find what is this increase, isn't it? So we have 7645 minus 3819. 7645 minus 3819. How much is this going to be? $3,826. So the gain is 3826. Okay. From where? From 3819. So the growth rate, please understand, the growth rate is 3826 is the growth from 3819 into 100. This will give me the growth rate. But what has he actually asked? Average annual growth rate. Now this is the growth rate over a period of how many years? Do not make a mistake of taking it as 6 years. No, over a period of how many years? Over a period of how many years? 2000, 2001 to 2001, 2002, 2001, 2002 to 2002, 2003, 2002, 2003 to 2003, 2004, 2004, 2003, 2004 to 2004, 2005, 2004, 2005 to 2005, 2006. Over a period of only 5 years. Therefore, my answer will be 3826 by 3819 into 100, whole thing divided by 5. This is what I am supposed to calculate. This is what I am supposed to calculate. It is a no-brainer. It is a no-brainer that 3826, 3819 are very close by. Therefore, the growth rate would be 100%. The average annual growth rate, therefore, would be 20%. Without doing any further calculation, we can say that the answer is going to be 20%. Is that clear? Understood? Next, before going ahead with the next question, let me clean up the screen a little bit. Just give me one moment. Let me erase this part because this is not needed anymore now. Okay. Because I'm going to use this space for calculation in case needed. Okay. Next question, he says, in the year 2006-2007, sales of RKSM increased by 25% over 2005-2006. And in 2006-2007, sales of RKSM and Hindustan SEM are equal. What is the percentage increase in the sales of Hindustan SEM from the year 2005-2006 to the year 2006-2007? Okay. RKSM 2005 2006 is 9036. RKSM 2005 2006 is 9036. So therefore, he says 9036 increased by 25%. That means the new value will be 5 by 4 times of 9036. It will be what? It will be 11295. Okay. So that is the value of RKSM in 2006 2007. Hindustan SEM is also the same thing. But from where did it increase? It increased from 7645. So we have to find. So our answer is nothing but 11295 minus 7645. First, let me calculate the numerator. Let me calculate the increase. So the increase is 3650. From where? 3650 is the increase from 7645. From 7645 into 100. So this is what will be my final answer. So this will be my final answer. But before calculating that, let us look at the answer options. It all hovers between 45 and 50%. Okay, it all hovers between 45 and 50%. Calculating 5% is easier. Which way can I go ahead? Okay, so 10% is 764.5. 10% is this much. So 50% will be into 5. Either this way or directly you can take 50% of 7645, which is nothing but 3500, 3800, 3822.5. This is my 50%. But I need only 3650. Remove 1%, it will be minus 76.45. I have 3746, so this is like 49%, right? Minus 76.45. It is 3669. This is my 48%. But I need only 3650. 3650. If I subtract another 76.45, that is 3669.60 minus 76.45. It will definitely go much below. So my answer will be definitely closer to 48. It will be between 47 and 48, closer to 48. Between 47 and 48, closer to 48. Therefore, the correct answer is 47.75%. Is that clear? Understood? Next. The next one is if a company records sales of more than 10% from previous year, then it is awarded superb certificate. From the given data, how many superb certificates did all the 5 companies together receive? Which means every instance where the increase is more than 10% has to be calculated. Please understand these type of questions. I'm not discouraging you people from answering. Okay. Data interpretation, when you are answering, there is some additional thought that we need to have in our mind. Given the data interpretation questions are set-based questions, there are 2 schools of thought. One set of people are the people who say, I'm more comfortable with this type of representation, maybe pie chart, bar chart, line graph, whatever. I'm more comfortable with this type of representation. Therefore, out of the given, let's say, 4 sets or 5 sets, depending on how they have segregated the questions, out of these 5 sets, let us say 5 sets I'm taking it, out of these 5 sets, I'll be answering these 4 sets completely and I will be leaving out 1 set. That is one type of people. Another set of people are the ones who say, I will not go with that kind of a preoccupied mind. Rather, I will look at every set. But in every set, I will only attempt the questions which give me maximum return on the time invested. Which means I will pick L1, L2, L3 questions. L4 and L5 questions, level 4 and level 5 difficulty questions, I will not look at. Now, if you go with that mindset, then probably if every set has about 4 questions, you may leave out 1 question in every set, and you may answer only 3 questions, right? So, in order to do this, the prerequisite is our ability to find and pick and understand whether the question is L1, L2 or L3 level difficulty. Now, if you look at this question, if a company like a superb certificate wala question, if you look at it, 10% from the previous year, that means every instance has to be calculated, isn't it? And we have to check whether it is more than 10% or not. Okay, it looks to be simple. Looks, how many instances? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 times, which is nothing but 25 instances I have to calculate. That is fine. But the problem is with the answer options. He has given 11, 12, 13, 14. So the answer options are very close by, which means inadvertently, if you just add one wrong instance, your answer could go wrong. If you leave out a valid instance, your answer could go wrong. When you are playing with this kind of a very low margin, it is not worthwhile if you belong to the second category of people who actually are the people who pick and choose the questions. If you belong to that category, I would rather say that this question can be attempted in a second iteration, not in the first iteration. Not because it takes time. Yes, of course it takes time. Not just because of that. Because it is also error prone. Because one minute mistake could make the entire answer go wrong. However, for the sake of completeness, I'll be solving that question as well over here. Okay. So more than 10%. Please understand, we don't have to calculate the exact percentage increase. We just have to see whether it is more than 10% or not. That is all we are supposed to check. See, 6,700. 10% would be what? 670. Add 700 itself. 6,700 plus 700 will be what? 7,400. 7,800. Definitely, this is one instance. 7,800 to 8,700. So add 800 itself. 7,000, 8,800, 8,600, 8,700. So definitely, this is one more instance. 8,700 to 8,093 to 9,000. Yes, this is one instance. Yes. 9,200 to 9,800. No, it is not. It is less than 10%. 4,072 to 4,200. No, it is not. 4,200 to 6,500. Yes, definitely. Yes. 6,500 to 7,000. No. 7,000 to 7,300. No. 7,300 to 6,000. No. Now come to this one. 4,185 to 6,164. Yes. 6,164 to 6,328. No, 6328 to 6961. This we have to be a little bit careful. 600, 6,900, 6,950, 6,960, 6,960.28, 6,961. Therefore, yes, no, and 6,900. Consider it as 700 itself. Even if I add 700 itself, it will be 7,600, 8,000. So, definitely yes. This is one instance. Come over here, just add another 300 itself. Yes, this is one valid instance. 3,015 to 3,327. Yes, it is valid. This is also valid. This is also valid. And this is also valid. This is valid. No. 5841. 900. No. 6. Yes. And that's it. So we have to just count the number of arrow marks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Therefore, how many instances are there? There are 14 instances where the company got the superb certificate. Therefore, the correct answer would be 14. Please say I did not write anything much other than just writing the arrow marks over here, just for the sake of calculation. To count the number of arrow marks. Is that clear? Understood? Now, with that, let us move on to another set. Let us move on to the next set. Here he says the following table gives sales volume V and turnover T in thousands of different category of appliances sold by Roma Electronics at its outlets in Bangalore in the month of May 2020. Okay, the month of May 2020. There are only 8 outlets of Roma in Bangalore. There are only 8 outlets of Roma in Bangalore. That's what he says, right? So the way we read it is NR Colony volume 45. So basically 45 televisions have been sold. And the turnover, the revenue generated is 900,000, which is 9 lakh rupees. Okay. And 120 mobile phones sold. The revenue generated is 1,800,000, which is 18 lakh rupees. So on and so forth. That's the way we read it. And we have the data for NR Colony, Chickpet, HBR Layout, MSR Nagar, KR Puram, RT Nagar, Vijay Nagar, Yelahanka. So these are the only 8 outlets that that Roma Electronics has in Bangalore. Is that clear? This is the data that we have. With this data, we are supposed to answer the question. And do not get overwhelmed with the data, with this much of data. Always remember the point. More the data that is given, more easier it is for us to read the data and get what we need. Lesser the data, more will be the calculation. More the amount of data, lesser will be the calculation. Is that clear? So, more the data, it is good, it is better. Understood this? Now, with that, this again I have kept it for as a placeholder for calculations if there is a need. Let us move on to the questions. The first question over here is, for the given month, in how many outlets sales turnover of printers is more than that of mobile phones? First thing, turnover of printers more than that of mobile phones. Turnover of printer more than that of mobile phone. Printer more than mobile phone. The column T of printer must be more than the column T of mobile phone. Where all does that actually occur? Where all does that happen? Okay. Look at it over here. This one, no. No. Yes. I've only taken the first condition. So this is one. HBR layout is one. No. 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 Vijayanagar is the second one. Yes. These are the two. But there is another condition also. But sales volume of refrigerator must be less than that of television. Sales volume of refrigerator less than. The column V of refrigerator must be less than the V of television. V of refrigerator. So 10 is less than 15, so valid. 20 is less than 45, so valid. So there are how many instances? There are two instances. And which are those two instances? HBR layout and Vijayanagar. HBR layout and Vijayanagar. There are two instances. So how many outlets? There are two outlets. So what is my correct answer? My correct answer is 2. So there are two outlets. Is that clear? The next one. In which outlet in Bangalore did Roma have highest average selling price for printers? Highest average selling price for printers. Highest average selling price for printers. See, if the highest average selling price for printers is needed, that means the turnover has to be really high and the volume has to be low. Right? So 600 by 100. So let me just erase all the ink on this slide so that it will be more area for me to calculate, and then we start the calculation. 600 by 100, which is 6, less than 8 5s are 8 6 are 48, less than 6, 6 7s are 42, so this is like 7, 6 8s are 46, 7s are 42, so more than 7 point something. This is like 4, leave it out. This is like 7.25. Okay. So 6 7s are 42, 3 6.65 are 30. So this is 7.5. Okay. This is a clear giveaway 10 rubber. This is 5. So which is the one? It is definitely for Vijayanagar. So therefore it is definitely for Vijayanagar. So my answer would be Vijayanagar for this question. So let me go back. So in which outlet? In Vijayanagar outlet. So therefore the correct answer is answer option C, which is Vijayanagar. Is that clear? The next one. Number of outlets of Roma in Bangalore with total sales turnover of refrigerator is 10% more than that of television. Sales turnover, refrigerator turnover must be more than 10% of television. Okay, refrigerator T, the column T of refrigerator must be more than 10% of column T of television. Of refrigerator, television, column T. Right, let me first erase all the ink on the slide. Okay, T of refrigerator must be more than 10% of T of television. So NR colony 900, 900, no. 600 and 800, yes, because 600, 10% increase, 660. So this is definitely one instance. 375 and 180, no, it's a decrease. 1200, 540, no. 1500, 1350, no. 480, 480, equal. 540, 320, decrease. 750, 960, yes, definitely yes. 750 to 960, because 750 plus 75 would only be 825, but I have 960. Therefore, these are the two. Which are the two? Chickpet and Yelahanka. So therefore, the correct answer is answer option A, which is there are two outlets of that nature. So now I I suppose that now you would understand that all we have been doing is only data reading. We are not doing any interpretation over here. Is that clear? Okay. How do we read the data? How do we comprehend the data? That much we can do. But how do we interpret? No, that is not something that's being tested. Okay. So it's a misnomer. In the next question, he says, in how many of the given outlets? In how many of the given outlets? Sales turnover of all the given products together is more than rupees 40 lakhs. So 40 lakhs means how many in terms of thousands? 4,000 thousands is 40 lakhs. 4,000 thousands is 40 lakhs, isn't it? 4,000 thousands is 40 lakhs. And the column T is all in terms of thousands. So the total of column T in every row must be more than 4,000. All such rows I will be considering. Row wise, in the sum of the values in the column T, row wise, the sum of the values in the column T must be more than 4,000. So if I come to NR colony, it is 900 plus 1,800, which is 2,700 plus 900, which is 3,600 plus 600, which is 4,200. Therefore, yes. How about Chickpet? 600 plus 2,000, 600 plus 400, 1,000 plus 2,000, 880, 3,880, 3,880 plus 800. Definitely more than 4,000, yes. How about HBR layout? 375 plus 108, 475. Consider it as 500 only, 600, 700, 800, 900,000. No, definitely not. How about MSR Nagar? 1,200 plus 720, 1,920, 1,920 plus 540 would be 2,460, 2,500, 2,900. No. How about KR Puram? KR Puram is like 1,500 plus 3,240. Definitely yes, there itself it goes. How about RT Nagar? RT Nagar is 480 plus 2,100, 2,580. 2,580, 3,000, 2,580, 2,980, 3,060, 3,760, 3,785. Very close by, but no. Vijayanagar 540 plus 1,250 is like 1,790, 1,790, 1,890, 2,090, 2,190, 2,210, 3,210, 3,810. No. How about Yelahanka? 750, 4,800. Definitely yes. Therefore, Yelahanka, yes. So, how many instances? 1, 2, 3, 4. So, therefore, how many instances are there? There are 4 instances, or there are 4 outlets where the sales turnover of all the given products together is more than rupees 40 lakhs. Is that clear? Understood that? Got the point? Next, let us look at this question. See, the previous 2 sets were the sets where the data was given in a tabular format. In this set, data is given in as a caselet with verbal statements, right? Now, we have to solve and we have to get the answers for the questions. We have to get the answers for these questions, these 4 questions, based on this data. So first, let us understand this data. He says a semiconductor chip design company has 3 groups, namely processor, systems, and research. Each group has 5 functional units, namely IT, marketing, finance, HR, and facilities. Total number of employees in groups, processor, systems, and research are in the ratio 3:5:4. Total number of employees in functional units, IT, marketing, finances, HR, and research. No, I think that's a mistake over here. Extremely sorry about that. And facilities. This is facilities, sorry. So these are the units. In all, the three groups together are in the ratio of 5:1:1:3:2. Number of male to female employees in the company are in the ratio 2:1. In each of the three groups, there is no female in the IT unit and no male in the HR unit. In each of marketing, finance, and facilities unit, at each group, males and females are in equal number. Also, total number of employees in marketing, finance, and facilities units are equally distributed among each of the groups. The company has 36,000 employees in total, and the number of males in the IT unit at processor, systems, and research groups are in the ratio 2:8:5. Okay. Let us see if we can draw a table, kind of a table at least. For all the units: IT, marketing, finance, HR, and facilities. IT, marketing, finance, HR, and facilities. HR, facilities. Males, female. Males, female. Males, females. Males, females. Number of males, the number of females. Okay. Total. We have processor group, systems group, groups are processor. We have the processor group, We have the systems group and we have the research group, and then we have the total. Groups, units. Okay. The company has 36,000 employees in total. Then, in the three groups, the total number of employees are in the ratio 3:5:4, which is like 5 plus 4, 9 plus 3, 12. If 12 is 36,000, then 1 is 3,000. If 1 is 3,000, then I have 9,000, 15,000, 12,000. 9,000, 15,000, and 12,000. So therefore, this will be 9,000, be 15,000. This will be 12,000. Okay. The total are 5:1:1:3:2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, 3s are 36. So 15, 15, 3, 3, 15, 3, 3, 9, and 6. 15, 3, 3, 9, and 6. So therefore, 15,000, 3,000, 3,000, 9,000, 6,000. Okay. Next, male to female employees in the company are in the ratio 2:1. Okay. Total number of males is 3, 12, 24,000 and 12,000. So total males. Let me just make a note. The total males is 24,000 and the total number of females is 12,000. So this is also another piece of information that we have. Next, in each of the three groups, there is no female employee in IT unit. There is no female employee in the IT unit. Therefore, these are all zeros. There is no male employee in the HR unit. Therefore, these are all zeros, which clearly means this is 15,000 and this will be 9,000. Okay. Then what does he say? In each of the marketing, finance, and facilities unit at each group, males and females are in equal number. So basically, the values are equal: male, female, equal, male, female, equal, male, female, equal. So if the males and females are in equal number, then the total automatically gets distributed equally among the males and females. Therefore, this total will be 1,500. This will also be 1,500. But how this 1,500 is split, we don't know. But we know that these two values will be the same, these two values will be same, these two values. Therefore, this is also same. So again, this will be 1,500. This will be 1,500. And out of this 6,000, this will be 3,000. and this will be 3000. Yes, we are done with that much. That statement is also done. Also, total number of employees in marketing, finance, and facilities units are equally distributed among each groups. Okay, so among each group, they are equally distributed. Marketing, finance, and facilities units among each group, they are equally distributed. So therefore, okay. So this 3000 people are equally divided. So it will be 1000 for processor, 1000 for system, and 1000 for research. And that 1000 is also equally distributed between the males and females. Therefore, this will be 500, 500, 500, 500, 500, and 500. Again, come to this one. Again, same thing. 500, 500. Same way. 500 and 500. And this is again 500 and 500. Come to facilities. This is like 6000. That means 2000. So this will be 1000, 1000, 1000, 1000, 1000, and 1000. Okay, this much has been done. The company has 36,000. Number of male employees in IT unit. Male employees in the IT unit at processor, system, and research groups. 2:8:5. So 15. 2:8:5. Therefore, this is like 2000, 8000, and 5000. 2000, 8000, and 5000. Now the remaining is only this particular column, the number of females in HR unit, that can be calculated. Say out of the 9000, I have already removed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this will be 3000. Out of 15, 2, 3, 4, 8 plus 4, 12. So this will be another 3000. Similarly, then automatically given that this is 9000, this will be 3000, and that is correct because out of 12,000, if I remove 2000, then I'm 10,000, 9,000, 8,000, 8 minus 5, so 3000. Yes. So all of the data has been obtained. Now, with all of this data, we need to answer this set of questions. This set of 4 questions need to be answered with that data that we have. What is the total number of male employees in processor and research groups together? Male employees in processor and research group together. So first row and the third row, the column M, we have to just calculate. So 2 plus 5, total number. Okay. 5 plus 2, 7, 7 plus 1, 8, 8 plus 1, 9, 9 plus 6. Sorry, 9 plus 2, 11. 7, 8, 9, 11. So therefore, the answer is 11,000. Since 11,000 is not there, therefore the correct answer is 11,000, hence it is none of these. And the correct answer is 11,000. Next one. Number of female employees in HR and marketing units together is what percentage of total number of employees in systems group? Female employees, HR and marketing, female employees. HR and marketing, females. 1,500 plus 9,000, which is 10,500. So basically we have to calculate what is 10,500 is what percentage of the number of employees in systems group? 15,000. 10,500 is what percentage of 15,000? This is what we are supposed to calculate. Two zeros gets cancelled out. Now 5, 21 times, 5, 30 times, 0 and 0 gets cancelled out. 3, 7, 21, 70. 1 second, something wrong. Number of female employees in the HR and marketing units together. Oh, sorry, only in that group, right? He has not told in all the groups, so sorry. So that was my mistake. I did not read that question properly. Extremely sorry about that. So this would be, let me take the eraser. Let me just erase it very quickly. Denominator of 15,000, that is correct. However, the numerator was slightly wrong. So something out of 15,000 into 100. He has not told all the groups together. So HR and marketing units. HR it is 3,000. And marketing it is 500, so 3,500. So it is basically 3,500 by this number. So if you remove this and this, you're left with 1, 0, 5, 3, 30, 5, 7 times. Okay, 0 and 0 goes out. So I am left with 70 divided by 3. So this is same as 33 1 by 3, 33.33. Therefore, the correct answer is 33.33%. Is that clear? Next. In which group is the number of female employees as a percentage of total number of employees the highest? In that group, female employees as a percentage of total number of employees. In that particular group, female employees as a percentage of total number of female employees here is what? Female employees is 500 plus 500, 1,000 plus 3,000, 4,000 plus 1, 5,000 by 9,000. 4,000, 5,000 by 9,000. This is like 5 by 9. In this one, it is like 1,000 plus 3,000, 4,000, 4,000 plus 1, 5,000 by 15,000. And in this one, it is again 1,000, 4,000 plus 1,000, 5,000 by 12,000. So where is it the highest? Wherever the denominator is the least, and that is the least for processor group. Therefore, my answer would be for the processor group. Of course, the total number of female employees is the same, it is constant. However, the denominator changes. Therefore, the least denominator is in processor, therefore, it is processor group, which has the highest number of female employees as a percentage of total employees. Next, the fourth question, which says, in how many units of the company is the number of employees as a percentage of the number of employees in the processor group more than 80%? How many units? 15,000 out of 9,000. Definitely it is more than 100%. So definitely IT will be 1 unit. Next, 3,000 out of 9,000 is hardly 33.33%. No, we cannot consider. It has to be more than 80. 3,000 out of, no. 9,000 out of 9,000, 100%. So I can take this. 6,000 out of 9,000. So this is like 2/3, which is 66.66, but he has more than 80%. So I cannot. So it is only in the IT and HR units. So therefore it is only IT and HR units. So therefore there are only 2 units which have more. So therefore my answer would be this. The point that we need to take away from here is that all we do is only data reading, not data interpretation. The second thing, questions can be solved without using a calculator. Okay. And there are many situations where the questions can be answered without writing anything. Is that clear? So, looking at the questions, looking at the set that is given, on a case-to-case basis, we will have to take a call as to whether we need to write and solve, whether we need to just do some approximations, how we go about calculating. And some of the examples we have discussed in this session. In the next session, I'll be going about discussing completely at length the topic of line graphs. In the next session we'll only be dealing with line graphs, and that would happen, that was supposed to happen today, but that will happen tomorrow. So just leave this 16th, instead of 16th it will be 17th June at 8 a.m. It will be a live session on the YouTube Unacademy YouTube channel, Let's Crack Management Exams English. I hope that you enjoyed this session. In order to get access to more such sessions, please do like. If you like this session, please do click on like. You can share and you can subscribe. And while subscribing, do not forget to use the code APUS, because this is the code of mine. With this code, you will also get a benefit. I'll explain that benefit in the next slides. But it is an additional way in which you can send across a positive feedback to me. And always remember, if there is anything that you have, any query that you have, you are more than welcome to click on the Telegram link on the YouTube channel, and you can click on the Telegram link, which will take you to the Telegram channel, and there you can post your queries and the queries will be answered immediately. At the same time, if there is any question on this particular session, you can write down the query in the comment box and immediately we'll try and answer it. Please make the best use of all the resources for your own benefit, and do subscribe. And when you subscribe, you get access to all the daily live classes which simulate the classroom method of teaching, where you can chat with your educator, you can engage in the discussion, you can ask your doubts and answer the polls. All of this while the class is going on. You can answer the live tests and quizzes. You can evaluate your preparation with regular mock tests and quizzes. And the content is delivered in a very structured way. Just one subscription would give you unlimited access to all the possible educators. And at the same time, you get access to all the live classes and the batch courses. Unacademy provides you an advantage wherein you can you can schedule the classes at your convenience. You can watch at your convenience. So you can choose a schedule that works for you. Language is not a barrier. You can learn anytime, anywhere. This is the extremely high return on investment, right? You can interact with educator, get your doubts cleared, answer the live polls, live tests and quizzes. You can answer the detailed report, you will get the detailed report and analysis for every test that you attempt on the platform. And you will get PDF access to PDFs and the learning material. All of that comes at a very reasonable subscription fee of just 788 rupees per month if you take a subscription for 24 months. If you take a subscription for 24 months, it effectively turns out to be 788 rupees per month, and no cost EMI is also available on 6, 12 and 24 month only, of course, not on 3-month or 1-month subscription. And even I'm not discouraging people who are attempting a CAT exam this year. Even if you are attempting the CAT exam this year, I would strongly urge you to go ahead and take a 24-month subscription, because it turns out to be just about 788 rupees per month. Okay, as compared to a 12-month subscription wherein it turns out to be 1313 rupees per month. Or in other words, just look at the 12-month subscription fee, which is 15,750. Just add 3,150 to it and you get 18,900. That is, by just adding 1 month, by just paying 1 month subscription fee extra, you get an access for the entire another extra 12 months. So the return on the money invested is extremely high. Please understand, it's an investment and not an expense. Okay, and you will get, this will be the effective payout if you use my code APUS, which will give you a 10% off. Otherwise, you will have to pay 21,000 rupees. If you use my code APUS, please remember the code, it is APUS. If you use my code APUS, you get a 10% discount, and it is your way of showing a good feedback or a positive feedback to my style of teaching. Is that clear? Do not forget the code APUS. Fine. So hope you liked it. You can click on like, you can share, you can subscribe, and while subscribing, do not forget the code APUS. This is Arjun Prasad signing off for this session. Hope to see you all tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. for a live class. Thank you, friends. Bye. Have a nice day.